All
Okay.
right, everybody. My name is David Atkins, and I'm here today with Edmonton TI. I'm a TI also, as y'all know, but I've seen he's got a channel. What's your channel's name? YouTube channel's name?
Edmonton gang stalking.
Edmonton Gang Stalking is the name of his channel. If you
Yeah.
want to check that out, and I'm going to interview him today. He's been targeted that he knows of since 2020. And as y'all know, I'm going to keep the interviews coming because I feel like the more victims we get to speak out, maybe somebody will start listening. And we did have a couple of viewers. One viewer said the other day on the channel, she commented and said, "David, my heart goes out to y'all. I can tell y'all are telling the truth." And the truth can be told. You can tell we're not making this stuff up. This is real life stuff. So please take these interviews serious. And so Edmonton, how long have you been targeted, and when did you realize you were targeted?
So yeah, it began in 2020. So my fiance too, she's a targeted individual, and this began like way across. It was like way across the country. Like I'm on the other side of the country from where it started, but yeah, it started like thousands of kilometers away. Like as you know, Canada's a big country, and we traveled from city to city trying to get away from this because that's when like the gang stalking started. The V2K was underway there too, but like I didn't understand what it was. It actually fooled me. Like I thought for sure that like my neighbors were in on it. Like they were saying a bunch of things that now looking back they probably didn't say, because now that I know more about V2K. But yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it is, man. Like in it, like the whole situation was just, yeah, it was nuts, and it drove me nuts. Like, yeah, like I've had, like I don't know if this is going to trigger any people, but like I've had a few suicide attempts.
Same
It's
here.
yeah, it's and like and I feel for you too. Like the agoraphobia, like they've been trying to do that with me, especially recently. They would have like gang stalkers posted right out front, just waiting for you, and with like the RNM thrown in there, like how they can manipulate your emotions, they
Mm-hmm.
can input certain responses. They would pair that, so they would time it so that normally like I wouldn't be, and probably the same with you too. Like you haven't always been like agoraphobic. You haven't always been.
I used to
Yeah,
be the
and
life of the party. Well, not party,
yeah,
but you know what I'm saying, outgoing, very in public. Now,
yeah, and yeah. So they would time it like as soon as I step out the door, like I would like get like my heart would race. Yeah, and I would shake like a leaf, and they're just walking like us like on from the outside, and as you know, like any passive observer would just think that, hey, that's just that somebody's just walking down the street. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to be scared of, but like yeah, you don't know, like you don't understand the gaslighting involved. But anyway, yeah, that's what they would do. They would, as soon as I step out the door, they would kick up the anxiety, because only like minutes before I would be perfectly fine, you know. And
yeah.
yeah.
So like my V2K, um, I I'd been to six different hotels, trying to check in. None of them would check me in, and then I walk out this last hotel, and boom, I hear my wife, which is my ex-wife. She was my handler. I hear her start laughing and her friends talking, and I don't know what V2K is. This is my first experience, so I walk out the hotel and I hear a laugh. You can't even get in a hotel. You don't know what to do. And I'm looking because I hear her voice, and I'm like, "There's no way. I'm 500 miles away from her." So I start looking in cars. I jumped the fence at Hampton Inn and looked over in the swimming pool area. Couldn't find nowhere, and the voices kept on. So that was my first experience. How did you find out what V2K was?
Just recently, actually, like I like we came to Edmonton from Toronto, and like because like I'm nearly 40, I've never heard voices in my life.
Right.
Um, and I was trying to get to the root of this, and you know, okay, so my mind's going blank right now. They're actually trying to,
It's all right.
uh,
Just take your time.
yeah, like I'm actually under attack. So yeah, like so I would do some research on it, and I don't know exactly like what led me to it, but um yeah, like I didn't even know this technology existed. Like I
Yeah,
don't
me
know.
neither.
Yeah, and it's but it's existed like forever. Like it's been around. The patents are out there, and it's yeah. And just to like to know that you're a victim of it is like that's a whole other thing too. It's like me, like I go to work like I'm a blue collar worker, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know what you did before they debilitated you,
uh,
but
Stuff like that, plumbing,
yeah,
odd construction workers. And then I was working at a chicken processing plant for 2 years before I
I
got
actually did.
gaslighted and sued them. And when I sued them, my targeting really turned
Yeah,
up after I sued them.
yeah,
But I
like
was like
so.
you, a blue collar worker.
Yeah, and like that's what I would do. I would wake up in the morning, like I wasn't into drugs. I never did drugs really. Like occasionally, like weed. I'll smoke weed, but it's like
Yeah.
but I wouldn't do any hard drugs or anything like that. And yeah, all of a sudden, like I would, I'd be hearing voices and like, uh, and then it started at work. Like I would hear things at work. Like I'd be like in the washroom and I would hear in the washroom, like somebody who like has never met like a construction worker who works for another company or whatever. I would hear them talking about me and it drove me absolutely crazy. I was like how does this person even know I'm in the bathroom to begin with, and how do they even know who I am? You
Same
know?
here, man. I went through the same stuff at Casey's Pizza, McDonald's, all these places I worked. I went through stuff like that.
Oh man, and just yeah, going to like the coffee shop, like yeah, you go into the bath, you start to hear voices on the outside the bathroom door. Oh, people pretending that they're police officers. Have you seen this person? You know what I mean? Like that's the big thing that they're really ramping up with us is the police. The police are after you, and and of course it's nonsense. I mean, we haven't done anything wrong.
And so
Um,
you said your fiance is a TI. Uh, like me, like myself, you're very lucky to have somebody to love you because most TIs, 90% of TIs are alone in this. So man, uh, do y'all both get attacked at the same time? Is
um,
sometimes yours worse than hers, or mine? Because like mine, sometimes hers is a lot worse than mine, and then sometimes mine's a lot worse than hers. It goes in spurts. I was just wondering. Um,
Yeah, like they've been trying like different. Like I know you're familiar with Project Soulcatcher and Dr. Duncan, and
yeah,
God bless him and the work he's done because without him, like we wouldn't have half the information. But like, yeah, they've been trying different scripts, like with me and with her. Um, like
that
they
they
would.
tried to split y'all up, cause emotion stuff, and split y'all
Oh,
up.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, man. Yeah, and
yeah.
it's actually like it's been that close that we have like we've actually man it like the it's just trauma after trauma. Like they try
Yeah.
to just induce, and it's
Two trauma victims trying to make it and
yeah, and
trying to see through the delusions and the scripts they play on each other. Because I tell Holly all the time, I was like, look, you got to see through that. They're trying to do that. They're trying to tell you that about me. Because B2K tries to talk to us about each other. And man, it's about seeing through it.
they try to use. You know what? And I've noticed that they try and use if you have a spouse, and especially if they're a targeted individual too, they'll try and use each other against you. They'll try and use you two against each other. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because especially in your situation, you don't go out. I don't really go out either. Like I only really go out if I have to. Um, they're trying to induce an agoraphobia in me because they want to isolate you. But if you don't really go out like I don't and like you don't, they'll use your fellow spouse who's also a targeted individual by proxy, right? They'll use a proxy attack against you, right? So
Yep.
that they don't even really need the street theater, they don't need the gang stalking. They'll just use your spouse. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you're not like conscious of it, you know what I mean? Because obviously, I think your wife um is she knows what's going on,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So that helps. Like yeah, like that. We're both blessed. We're very blessed.
So what do you experience being targeted, and what are some ways you cope with it? Like, do you experience weapon attacks, scripts, remote neural monitoring? Just kind of
Yeah,
give a variety of what you experience and how you cope with it.
yeah, like one of the things they like to do, like especially at the start, like they really liked to attack me like while I was in the bathroom. They would say just like stupid stuff, like he's not brushing his teeth properly, he's not doing this and that, just really stupid stuff. Um, it's mostly derogatory stuff, and occasionally they'll play the good cop, bad cop. Like they'll say, "Oh, you've got a beautiful mind," and think that's what they would say. They would say, "Oh, you have a beautiful mind," but at the same time, most of the time they're just trash talking. They're saying mean things. And same with them, like my fiance. She gets a lot of like she gets put down a lot. Like you should kill yourself. You're good for nothing. And
Same with
with
mine.
yeah, and it's all lies. Like in Dr. Duncan's work, like he brought up an interview that he had with I think it was an ex CIA agent who actually happened to have been a mind control victim. And one of the things that he was told was that when you enter this program, everything you hear is going to be a lie. Everything you hear will be, and it was so hard for him to even hold on to that basic truth that you're going to hear lies constantly, but it's so hard coupled with the energy attacks. Like you really believe it. Like, like sometimes it fools you,
Do you get
like,
direct energy burns? Does your head get heated up, or you get like, see, my head gets heated up really, really hot. Sometimes the other day they did something new. The other day they shocked my left testicle for about 2 minutes straight,
oh, I've
pulsating
had that.
shocks. I've never had that before in my life till like 3 or 4 days ago, and then they vibrate my whole body and they shock the back of my brain right here really bad. Especially when I close my eyes, it gets worse.
Yeah. Oh, they like to do it when you just fall asleep too, at least for me. Like just as I'm falling asleep, they'll start like, yeah, they'll start shocking my body. I get the testicle pain. I've had that for a while, but for the first time, actually, not too long ago, I started experiencing the vibrating, and it was so bizarre. It was so weird, and I was like, Amanda, my fiance is Amanda. I would look over at her and I'd be like, are you like moving your legs? Like, are you, it feels like the bed is vibrating. And I would look at the bed just to, and nothing's moving. Nothing's, it's me. Like I'm vibrating, and it's, yeah, like, so I experienced that, the vibrating testicle pain, different like shocks on the body. But it's mainly they like to do headaches, especially like to like when I to interrupt my like thought process. Like I'm surprised they haven't done it now, but I would get like headaches, like piercing headaches, and it would just like it would throw me right off. But
Yeah, because see, they can when you go to sleep, they can program you when you're sleeping. That's why sometimes Ti will wake up and his brain will feel like mush, like mine will feel like it's all watery and mushy, and or they can program you when they sleep deprive you. They can program you. So that's two key
oh,
points for programming. It's either sleep deprivation or when you're sleeping, they can program you. So that's why a
oh yeah,
lot of times you feel worse when you go to sleep.
yeah,
I know for me anyway, I could close my eyes right now and start vibrating, and
wow,
get shocked. So they have me programmed, and that's how I know. That's how I know there's nobody standing outside in a next door. And I'm not saying neighbors ain't involved in some people's, but in mine, I really think I'm programmed or something. I was in the hospital 2 years ago for 45 days. They went in my spine twice. And I really think I'm programmed somehow because every time I close my eyes, no matter if it's take a power nap, rest my eyes, I start getting shocked and vibrated.
yeah, like yeah, like so yeah, it's really
So
it's
you were a
something.
normal, so you were a normal worker, right? Just a normal average Joe person.
Just a normal guy. Like I've never had mental health issues. And like yeah, like I'm a
Saying like,
nobody.
I just want you to paint a picture for the audience, like, oh, I had this normal life, I had friends and all that, and then smear camp, paint the picture of how it was before and how it is now, if you could.
Yeah, so like I would, like I said, like I would just live a simple life. I would go to work. I'd come back. I've been with my fiance for like 13 years. It's been a long time. But
Did
yeah,
y'all
like
have friends and family?
Yeah, like we have a big family, both of us, kind of spread across like Canada. I actually have family in the United States as well, deep south. But they yeah, like
Have they
we
turned them
kept it,
against you?
you know, it's funny because they've tried. It's part of the mind games because like especially they have control of my phone. Like I've been documenting that on my
Yeah.
YouTube account as well. It's really it's frustrating, but they can intercept your text messages and like
Oh
your friends.
yeah.
Yeah, and like your friends and family, they won't get your texts, right? So they create the impression in combination with the V2K that your family doesn't like, nobody likes you, right? Nobody, and that's what they would say to me in my V2K. They'd be like, nobody likes you, nobody, you know. But knowing that my family, like I have a loving family, and you know but you know they don't let me contact them, and I'm way
Have
out
they ever
in the
sent
west.
mean text messages to somebody? Like they intercepted my phone and a TI was helping me out in 2018 when I was homeless. And
Mhm.
I get a text message that said, "What did you just say to me?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And the person sent me a screenshot and there was a text from my phone saying, shut up, you bitch, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Wow,
I never sent that. I promise you I didn't send that. I said, you're helping
wow,
me. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm not going to do that. And I took a screenshot of my phone. I said, I swear to God, I did not delete it, but it wasn't on my phone, but it was, yeah. So they can play some
wow.
games.
You know what? That's never even crossed my. I didn't know that they could actually do that. That doesn't surprise me, but
Yeah.
they
So I
could be
believe you
doing that.
about the phone thing. So they're probably intercepting your family's text when you text your family. They've been doing that on my phone where I don't get messages and people swear they've messaged me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've been trying. Like I've kind of been having a hard time because, like I said, I'm way on the West Coast. My family's on the East Coast, and in the United States, they're in the Deep South. And I haven't heard, like, aside from my mother, like, you know, thank God for my mother, but, and I mean, she doesn't understand what's going on. But like, and how do you explain it to like somebody from like the Boomer generation? You know what I mean? They just don't want to believe that their government could,
Now,
you
what you
know,
could do is get John Hall's book, Guinea Pigs, and send it to your family. He's an anesthesiologist in Dallas, Texas, who exposed this stuff. He was dating a woman, and she started getting stalked, and he figured out, hey, she's a target individual. And this dude's still an anesthesiologist. I don't know if you've heard of him. John
I've
Hall's his
heard of
name. Yeah, he's
just
wrote
recently. Yeah,
Guinea Pigs, a book called Guinea Pigs and Satellite Terrorism in America. And he just goes into the history and guinea pigs of mind control experiments and stuff like that. It's a real good book if you want to try to send your family to read, if they would read it with an open mind.
yeah, that's the thing. It's opening their minds. But yeah, like I said, like because I'm cut, they want to isolate you, right? They want to isolate you completely, to cut you off from your friends and family, and that's part of the problem that I'm having is I'm having a difficult time even getting in touch with my family, you know, and yeah, but that no, that's a good idea with that book. And like my sister's a little more open minded, but yeah, like I couldn't because the question then comes to like why would they do all this because of you, you know, why,
Exactly.
and that's what I was kind of in denial. It's like how could this be that the, you know, my own government, whether it's, you know, because the CIA has done experiments here in Canada as well with MK Ultra, you know about that, but they had contracts here in Canada. So I sometimes I like the CIA, like we have our own. It's called CSIS, and it's the Canadian equivalent to the CIA. But I mean, I'm sure the CIA still does experimentations up here with the consent of the government. But yeah, like I would be in denial. Like how, like why me? You know what I mean?
I'm
And
going to tell you a trick. Do you have Wi Fi at your house?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a trick. And people can say, I'm agoraphobic. I never leave the house. So when I got this phone, the first thing I did was I turned it on airplane mode as soon as I turned the phone on. I programmed it, and I activated my service with it in airplane mode. Then I uh, I kept it in airplane mode and enabled Wi-Fi calling. So my phone's never searching for service because you know when they hack your phone, most of the time, 90% of the time, it's got to be searching for service because it's a middleman attack. So what it is, it's a fake cell phone tower or IMSI catcher, and they open it up, and so it'll make every phone in the proximity attached to that fake cell phone tower. Then they see your number and take over your phone. Well, if your phone's never searching for service, it can't attach to that fake cell phone tower. So this phone right here, I can maybe they got it hacked. They're just not letting me know. And that, I've
Yeah.
had some weird stuff, but it's been minimized since I've kept this phone in airplane mode the whole time I've had it. It's never been searching for service.
Okay. Airplane mode. Okay.
Airplane
Yeah.
mode and Wi-Fi calling.
So it is a middleman attack, eh? So because I was wondering that, like, because I have an iPhone and iPhones are notorious, like they're very good with walling. If you have an infection on your phone, it walls it off. Like it's a very unique security feature. Of course, when you're dealing with the government, they could like they have all the all the best viruses in the world, but so it's a middleman attack.
Yeah, it's called just look up an IMSI catcher or a fake cell phone tower. That's all they're doing is coming in your neighborhood, opening that up. They know your phone number. They open it up. It causes every phone to attach to that device. Then they just pick your phone number out of that device and take it over. Get your IMSI number. Once they have the IMSI number, they can take over your phone and do whatever. They
Wow.
don't see sometimes a perp will have a chance to snatch your phone and switch out a SIM card, but they ain't got to do that these days. They got
Really?
a
Okay.
device called an IMSI catcher that does that stuff.
It, okay. So it's called an eye catcher.
An IMSI catcher. Every phone
I
has
am
an IMSI number,
okay.
and when they open that little device up, it'll catch your phone number, and then they get that IMSI number. And if you got the IMSI number to a phone, you can take it over and do whatever from remotely. Yeah. So you may want to try getting you like a $25-$30 phone, but you got to have phone service that does the Wi-Fi calling, and then or you can just if you don't leave the house, get you a phone, just a backup phone. You know what I'm saying? And just
Yeah.
buy a phone for $20 and get a text now number and use that. Put it in airplane mode and Wi-Fi and just use text now number.
Okay.
And just let them have that phone, keep that phone on. You know what I'm saying? But have a backup and just use text now. It's a free service, phone calls and stuff. Have you heard
Okay.
of that?
No, yeah, no, I haven't heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, you go to Google Play Store, you get a phone, you can buy a smartphone for $25, and you go to Google Play Store, go to Text Now, and it's a free. You can pick your phone number. It's a
Okay.
Wi-Fi number.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been using just for that like WhatsApp, right? Like I've just been using that. So,
Yeah,
but
well, this gives you your own number and everything, and it's free.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so see. All right. So are you able to hold a job as targeted?
Oh my goodness. No, like I've been like for sure I've been blacklisted. Because I would like in my resume is not bad. Like I have like I was a blue collar worker and everything, and I've maintained work. And no, like as soon as we come out west, and out west, like the rest of Canada economically is suffering really bad. Out west has always been like it's been really safe if you want to get a job, and there's all kinds of work out here. And I've been applying to hundreds of jobs,
Wow.
and yeah, and like I wouldn't get one call back.
Yeah. See, I'm so blacklisted. Homeless shelters would turn me away. Churches would turn me away for food and all that. Let me ask you this. Man, they took it out of my head. On the job,
Yeah,
on the job thing. Oh man, they took it out of my head.
I
I hate
hate that. I hate that.
Oh, it was a good question too, pertinent to the
They do it
conversation.
with they do it, but yeah, they do it with Brian too as well. Like they'll use a pain stimulus. That's what they do with me. Like it'll take it right out of my head.
Yeah, Brian's going through some stuff right now. He
Oh
actually
man.
sent me a book and I'm reading it, and I got to pass it on when I'm done. It's a near-death experience book. I Imagine Heaven. He sent me that, and he sent me some comic book. He's a real good dude, man. He's getting tortured a lot, so keep him in your
Uh,
prayers.
Definitely. Yeah, I see his videos and it's like my heart like just goes out to him. Like this is a real TI. Like when you try like when you have doubt about somebody, it's just look at their situation. Like you know what I mean? You can't work. You're able to work physically. Like you're a strong dude and
Well, no,
you know,
my left foot's actually disabled now. I was able to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah. But
actually, my left leg is like maimed. I had some B12 deficiency, severe to B12 deficiency, which led to transverse myelitis. And
oh,
so now I got my foot basically in shape. And anyway, I was in the hospital 45 days 2 years ago with a catheter. 40 anyway. So I had an infection in my spine, is what they said. So now if I step flat footed on my left foot, if I'm walking and step flat footed, my knee buckles and I fall to the ground. But I haven't been able to go to a doctor because I'm agoraphobic. I don't go to doctors.
yeah. And they take advantage of that too. Like, has it been with doctors too? Like, for you, like, have been lucky to
Well,
get
my
like a good
advice to TI is if you ever get in the hospital, call one of your TI friends and have them call the hospital and say, look, I'm his aunt and uncle. I need to know about him. Because when I was in the hospital 45 days and they started calling in uh, and checking on me, they started acting nice to me. When I first went in there, though, they were very upset, acting like, man, we got to serve this dude. He's really hurt. He's going to be here a long time. Man, you know what I'm saying? Very, very
Yeah.
mean, disrespectful to me, wouldn't get me, would leave me in my bed hours without even coming to check on me, stuff like that. Late to
Yeah.
get my meals. If I asked for something, I wouldn't get it. But as soon as I did actually get a hold of my sister to call up there, which she's iffy, but sometimes so. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, so once they started calling up there in the hospital scene, I had people that cared. Their whole demeanor changed. So that's what I've seen. If they know you got people that care, they'll do something. But if they know you're blacklisted and completely isolated, you're going to get shit treatment. Pardon my
Oh
language.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like all TIs know. Like, well,
Medical
most of
COINTELPRO.
them. Yeah, there you go, COINTELPRO. And like I'd actually on my YouTube channel, I documented my experience. I have 3 different incidents, and like I was basically tortured. And but yeah, like you can check out my YouTube channel. I've got one um
And
experience that.
I'll put the link to your YouTube in my description. If
Thank
that's
you, Dave.
okay.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah.
Um, so you're not able to hold a job. Have you ever tried going to farms and stuff and asking for work?
Actually
Is
I
there
never
any
really.
farms around? Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Why I got it in my head. All right, I've been seeing videos where steaks are like $40. Is the price really that high in Canada?
Oh, it is. It's
Okay.
really. Yeah.
Like I think I said somebody had a head of lettuce for like $6. Is that true?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very true.
Wow, because I didn't know
Yeah.
if it was fake news or not. You know, and I've been seeing like a steak was $45 for one ribeye. Is
Oh
it so
yeah, and
all that's true? Wow.
it's true. And yeah, the farther north you go, the more expensive it is. It's like,
I think it was
yeah.
like $9 for a carton of eggs. Very
Oh yeah,
expensive.
yeah. Yeah, like being a TI is one thing. Like without even being a TI, it is hard to live. It is hard to live. But when you're a targeted individual, and especially in Canada, it is damn near impossible.
I mean, I can get right now. I can get 18 eggs for $2.70.
Oh, that's nice. That's
I mean,
nice.
America's prices are totally different. That's why I've been freaking out. I'm like, there's no way that's costing $45 for a steak. But I guess it is true then.
It is
Wow.
true. Yeah. And like, yeah, my mom, she would tell me about that. She's in Florida. She lives on the Gulf Coast. But yeah, she would tell me about it, like how everything's cheap down there. It's like, yeah, compared to
Wow.
here. But
I wonder why that is.
yeah. Well,
Wow.
that they say it's because Canada, like it's the healthcare here, because we pay very high taxes. Like we have free healthcare, but of course nothing's free in this world. You have to pay for it somehow,
Do y'all
right?
get food assistance?
Um, you say okay, so I'm trying to
I'm
get
just saying,
on.
how do y'all get by as TIs?
Yeah, so we're getting by right now with our church. Things are kind of sketchy with that. I I have I'll have to go into it a bit later, but um yeah, so we're being kind of supported by our church group.
That's
Uh
great.
yeah, no, it's good, but I'm kind of worried about some things that are going on here, and I'm getting some red flags, and uh Yeah, but yeah, no, we're our food is taken care of for now, so it's
Right.
yeah,
So yeah, so because with a church, anything can go on. They want you to do what they want you to do and stuff like that. I understand that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you ain't got to say no more. Uh,
yeah,
I think the audience knows what you're talking about. You got to adhere to the ways to the ones that's helping and do what they say, kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Well, I'm kind of concerned that, like, I mean, the gang stalkers, they try and they're trying to get in, and it's my belief and our suspicions that they're already in, and they're already engaging in you know, um, some programming with us,
And
because it was our.
trying to turn the church against you.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And there's some really bizarre things that have been going on. Like things have been outright sabotaged here. Like we have a fridge out back that was we need to get replaced, so we wheeled it out back. Well, that thing was vandalized. It was torn apart. The engine was taken out, or the motor was taken out of the refrigeration unit. It was lying on its side. Like we woke up one morning, we came out, and it was lying on its side. Um,
And y'all got
just
blamed for it.
no, you see,
Oh,
that's what we
good,
were
good.
thinking. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. And it could be in people's minds, like, oh, the new people in the community, oh, the fridge gets vandalized. It was probably them. I'm sure they're talking. And I'm sure like these agents, these community-based agents these gang stalkers are, spreading that behind the scenes.
Wow, that's got to be hard. So, see, would your family help you any at all if you really needed it?
Yeah, yeah. Like
That's
luckily, like
good.
my mom especially, she doesn't have a whole lot of money, but yeah.
Um, is it hard to make it through each day? Have you ever been suicidal? I know me. I cut my throat, 17 stitches, 17 staples, a blood transfusion. Uh, I was so I was man. I was at my friend's house. I tripped out, and was like, man, I knew that he was wanting me to go to this water park, and I thought they were stalking me and talking. My V2K told me they were talking about me and talking about coming in the room and getting me. So I cut my throat. I mean, I cut my wrist in his room. And I'm talking about my shoes were full of blood, blood everywhere. I mean, because I done it in the middle of the night because I wanted to die. You know what I'm saying? They're sleeping. By morning time, I wanted to be dead. That was my plan. So I had a razor blade and I'm cutting and cutting and cutting my wrist. And he found me with blood everywhere. I wrote on the door in blood, "I love you, Teresa." And she was my handler the whole time. I was stupid about that. And then they had to replace their carpet. He was so mad at me, and I almost
Yeah.
died. I had to get a blood transfusion. I got 14 stitches in my wrist. Then I took a Ativan and a Haldol. I took them, and I would never commit suicide for the record again or try it. And I was in a coma 5 days and actually brain dead. They deemed me brain dead, and my dad was an hour away from pulling the plug, and I came to. So, when I went through this gang stalking and didn't know what it was, because I didn't know what it was till 2018, been going through it since 2011. So I was tired of it and I was ready to go home. So, um, so I'm just wondering if you've been in that situation before.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, like a similar situation. Like I have, there's my
Yeah.
like
See. Yeah.
I I was driven completely mad like you. Like I thought, like my current fiance, they were convincing me by V2K that she was leaving me, and she was like they like to put all this blame. They like to put the blame of what you're going through on other people besides who's actually to blame. And I thought it was somebody who was kind of like he was a rival of mine, right? Like he was a neighbor, and we didn't get along. And I was hearing his voice, and yeah, like yeah. They convinced me to do that, and yeah, like I was in a parking lot. Actually, it was an underground garage. I was trying to get away from the voices that I was
You
hearing.
must have lost a lot of blood too, because I see you did it.
Oh,
You did it down. You did it down too.
yeah, like it was all over the place, and like yeah, I don't know how I survived it really. Like I actually ended up passing out, but the blood stopped. Like it looked like it was clotting,
Yeah,
and
coagulated.
yeah,
It's
coagulated,
hard
and
when I found that out too. It's hard when you cut your wrist, your blood keeps if you don't do it like right the first time, you got to keep doing it and doing it to open it up, open it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how, yeah. So
Not to be nasty, audience. We're just trying to put the real deal out there, you know.
it's
This
reality.
targeting had, you know, I didn't care. I didn't care if I went to hell. I'm a believer in Christ. I don't know what you believe in, and I don't push my beliefs out for anybody. But suicide's a no-no in my book. So when I went and committed suicide, like that's a big deal for me to go that far. You know what I'm saying? I'd lost
Yeah.
my mind though. I mean, I put on my friend's wall in blood, "I love you, Teresa," in blood on my friend's wall. I mean, I'd really lost it. I'd had enough of gang stalking. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
torture
No.
and weapons and all that. I had enough of it, but I didn't know what it was. So I really thought I was going nuts. So now that I know what it is, I can cope a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like the way I see it, and it's like this is a weapon. These are weapon systems of the devil. You know what I mean? These are people out, these gang stalkers, these agents, these operators, these handlers. They're agents of the devil. No matter how you slice it, you know, a lot of people like to they like to deceive people in thinking that this is purely what you're going through is it's spiritual, right? There's a spiritual component to it for
Yeah.
sure, but it's real weapons. These are real sound waves, scientifically proven sound waves, but the people behind it, they're devilish.
Yeah. And you know what? The fallen angels, if you read the book of Enoch, and people can, I've read the book of Enoch, the lost books of the Bible. If you read the book of Enoch, what happened in the book of Enoch, that fallen angels came down and showed man how to make fire, how to make weapons, and all that. So who's to say they didn't put the idea for the weapons into these people who's making these weapons heads?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get it. Like it's real stuff. Like what you're going through is not like you're not hearing voices of you know demons or angels.
No, it's
They
technology.
it's
Yeah,
technology, but the people operating it are servants of the devil. They are the demons.
yeah. They've sold out. They've sold themselves out. They're no good scum. They've ruined my life. You know, I had a regular life and stuff, and you know, they've ruined your life now. Um, my girlfriend, they've ruined countless lives, and it's just pitiful. And are you a believer in God?
I am, yeah. Christ
Cool.
is king. You know, he is my Lord, and he's the only reason why I'm alive. And same with so many TIs.
Yeah,
You know,
same with me. And I don't throw myself up on, and I don't disrespect or I don't hold nothing against nobody that don't believe like me. You know what I'm saying? To each his own. I respect them the same. But for me, you know, Psalms 91, stuff like that has got me through so many hard times. Um, you know, there was a time I got stuck in this. I went to this hotel in Missouri, and you know them big concrete barriers they put to block stuff off. When I checked in this room, I checked in at 8 in the morning, and I had a bus that was going to leave at 5 the next morning. They they emptied the hotel room, and they put these big cinder blocks in front of every entrance in this hotel room. It was in Cameron, Missouri, so nobody could pull up. So I was at this hotel by myself. So all
wow.
night I'm scared. So then I see they pump smoke in the bathroom, trying to trip me out and get me to run outside and just leave my hotel room in that little bitty town. So I wrapped a towel around my head and I turned it on Prayer Warriors on YouTube and just played Psalm 91 over and over and prayed and prayed and prayed until I caught my bus the next morning at McDonald's across the street. It was crazy. They blocked off the whole hotel room just to hurt me and have me. You know what I'm saying? It was like
Oh
I
my
was at the base
goodness.
motel by myself. You know what I'm saying? I was the only one there, and I'm watching them block it off. It was they had an actual forklift bringing these things blocking it off. I swear. It sounds
Oh,
bizarre, but I swear that happened.
even by TI standards, that's bizarre. I couldn't imagine explaining that to somebody who hasn't. Like I
And
can
you know
get it
what? I'll explain it because I don't care what nobody says it happened.
exactly.
Yeah, bizarre stuff like that because they want to make you they want to push they want to play these scripts on you and make it where you can call the police or you can call whoever and you're going to sound crazy as a loon.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
mean, about
At this
man,
point, man, like I believe anything. Like my whole world has been turned upside down, you know, and the most bizarre things have happened. Nothing surprises me anymore, man.
and that's why my girlfriend be like, "Well, you don't believe." Well, I believe everything you say. I tell her that because I've seen bizarre stuff. So I try to listen to whatever TI says and believe them. You know, some people have infiltrated and want to play fake, and I don't even know why they do that. I mean, really,
Yeah.
I guess what I mean, who wants the attention of a TI, you know? And
Yeah.
I think back on why somebody would fake it, and it just don't make sense. I mean, maybe they want attention, or
Well, it's to sow division is what it is. Like
yeah,
if it, you know, like the worst thing that that could happen is, you know, we come together and, you know, and we help. They don't want you to help each other out, for one thing, but it's a lot of disinformation, man. Like you'll notice, like the fake TIs. First of all, like I have a lot of like red flags when you see TIs that, you know, they're very glamorous. They're very, you know, like they have a lot of like resources. It's kind of a red flag because one of the things they do is they destroy your finances. They turn everything upside down. And like, look at Brian too. That is a real TI. You can look at yourself, like somebody.
yeah, he's retired. He gets pension from DOD and FEMA, or something like that. I don't know where he gets his money from, but he gets some kind of SSI or something. So that's how he supports. But he lives out of his van
Yeah, like he's
or
living in a
truck.
parking lot.
Yeah,
You know,
because
like
you know
what
what? If he
that's not.
lives, he said he lives like that so he can stay on the move. He said, I'm not going to be where I got to go back to the same house to set up like a concentration camp.
Yeah, I'm kind of adopting an opposite approach. I'm trying, like we've been chased all across the country. Like I'm trying to stay put right now. It's kind of it's livable right now, but like I'm trying to kind of gather evidence. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like if not for and like prosecuting them or whatever, but it's more to kind of like spread the word that this stuff goes on, man. Like this TI stuff, it is real. These directed energy weapons, and I was watching a newscast not long ago. It was Fox News, actually. We get you guys' news up here, and they came out and admitted that these directed energy weapons, they exist. They
Yep.
exist, but they're blaming it on the Russians. They're saying, "Oh no, 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 it's not us.
Yeah.
It's the Russians, right?" Like,
And like the Russians, like Putin's got any dealing with a bunch of people in America and Canada who don't have nothing to do with no politics or nothing, just poor people
no,
on the streets. Like they're going to, like
yeah,
Putin's just over here torturing us,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
right. No, like it's plain to see that this is experimentation, and Brian too says it best. And God bless his soul. God bless his soul. Like you're a target. I think I'm a target of opportunity. I'm not a lucrative target. I don't have any secrets. I don't hold any state secrets. You know what I mean? I'm just a nobody, and I think it's for training, research, and development.
Yes,
I'm a target of opportunity because in their eyes, I'm an easy target, right?
yes.
So,
Let me see. How has this affected your health?
it's more mental. Like it's been a mental game. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't experienced anything like organ wise yet. Like it's fairly new, and
No, I'm
I
like,
don't.
I mean, like 2 days ago, I was going to do a video, and I don't know if you've seen the short video I did saying I was too sick. Like I could barely move. I was fatigued. I was vibrating, getting shocked. My arms, they've been hitting my arms where my arms, sometimes I can't even lift nothing or do anything because my arms feel like I got severe arthritis all the way through my arms and both my arms. Severe fatigue, don't even feel like doing nothing but just staying still because your whole body hurts. Do you experience anything like that every now and again, like
Yeah,
fatigue and
yeah,
stuff?
like yeah. Oh yeah, the fatigue is the biggest thing. Like I'll nod off. I'll just be sitting there and I'll just nod off, and it's yeah. Like I feel like I'm in a hypnotic state most of the time. Like at least 10, 15 times a day, I'll just be
Man, you
walking
can't
around.
get nothing done because you're so sluggish. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I'm a real believer in supplements, lion's mane and aprotropic smart drops, turkey tail. I'm trying to think, vitamin B12, sublingual. I do anything I get. Mostly is extracts to put under your tongue. Ginger root, turmeric, all that stuff helps. But sometimes if they want to turn it up and hit me, I still feel like crap. But you know, these weapons drain you of vitamins and stuff. So, you know, if you're getting fatigue, uh, you know, they just told my girlfriend she had a vitamin D deficiency. So, and she's been her whole body's been hurting very bones and stuff. So if you ever start feeling fatigued, your bones start hurting. So it could be caused by a simple vitamin D deficiency. So we've been
Okay.
giving her vitamin D extract for a while, for about 3 or 4 days now. It still ain't worked yet, so she was very fatigued in it, and that's what these weapons do. They zap you of your vitamins.
Right. Yeah.
Very
I need
important
to
for
get
you
better with
guys
the
to
vitamin.
stay hydrated too.
Right. Yeah, and you see, that's the thing. Like I used to be into bodybuilding. Like I used to be a bodybuilder. Um, I don't post very much on Facebook anymore, but I used to have like all kinds of like pictures. Like I was really into it. And now like I've like yeah, like that health wise, that's the biggest thing is that like but it's my body and my mind, like
Yeah,
physically on the outside, like you can tell that,
I was doing 450 push-ups a day, and then now I have to force my. I've been the last 2 weeks. I've been forcing myself every day, no matter how well I didn't the other day. I was feeling so bad. Force myself to do 150. Not at once, of course, but
yeah,
try
broken
to
up. Yeah.
force myself because exercise really, really makes me feel better when I'm getting attacked.
And it's so hard because like what yeah like exercise when you're a bodybuilder you need rest, you need to be rested, and you just don't get rest even when you're sleeping. I don't even feel like I'm getting REM sleep, like none of my nothing, like none of my sleep that I've ever had since I've been targeted, well yeah, since I've been targeted is I'm not getting recuperative sleep,
Could you
like
explain the severity of your gang stalking and what you experienced with that? Because I know you get gang stalked heavily. Street theater scenarios and stuff.
uh, yeah, it's the street theater is mainly I don't know if
Like
I
give
can really.
examples of what you deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, well, the gang stalking is like it's everywhere. Like I just look around, they're there. I got the one headlight. I always see the one headlight everywhere I go. Like it just going out for a walk, I'll see them 10, 15 times. It is a lot. Like it is a lot. And the street theater, I don't know if I could really talk about it because it's a lot of it has a sexual like component to it. And I understand a lot of TIs. There's a lot of there's a huge sexual component to it because they try and program you, what can we do to this person, like what can we make this person attracted to,
Right.
can we take somebody who's completely straight, a Bible believer, a Christian, can we flip them, attack their religion and turn them gay,
Yeah.
things like that, and along with the directed energy weapons, the RNM, like it's brilliant. They would time it. As soon as I run into like a street theater thing, they would inject impulses like, arousal. Anxiety is a big thing. As soon as I walk out the door, they kick up the anxiety. That's what they kick it up right away. But as soon as I go through the street theater, a lot of it is, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Um,
Forced emotions, yeah.
and they
Forced
get,
emotions.
and they do that to you like after the street theater, like they would afterwards they would interrogate you about it, and about that,
Yeah.
what I mean, your inner voice, and they would start, oh, you looked at this and that, and oh, like when I'd be going out, somebody would literally, they would bend over right in front of me, you know what I mean, like just
And
it's awful.
you would inject a guilty feeling in you.
No, 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 they like while that's happening they would inject an arousal state,
And then
like
after that, they inject the guilt.
yes, yeah, and then they would start interrogating me, and then it's like a
Yeah.
runaway process of, oh my,
And
like I'm such a
Brian too explains that very good. The
yeah,
injection
no,
process and all that. I love how he explains it.
yeah, no, he
Yeah.
makes perfect sense of it.
Yeah.
But that
Um,
they've been, and like if I can say, and I know it, like I don't want to set anybody off. Like they would use children, like as well. Like I would see like these gang stalkers, like they would bring their children and they would involve them in these skits, these street theaters, and and there's no there's no low that they won't go to. This
yeah.
is how evil, you know what I mean? Like
What about your electronic devices? Could you explain what they're doing to them?
I don't even know. I don't even know. So I like,
You know what I'm
like
saying? Can
you,
you explain what's happening with them? Like, how they're messing with them, how they mess with you? I'm just trying to let the audience get a feel of what they do with electronics. Like back in 2018, my phone was so hacked, they would send people messages from my phone, and turn them against me, and it really wasn't me sending the messages. Or sometimes they might send a message to me from somebody else, and I would think, wow, they don't want nothing to do with me no more, so I wouldn't even contact them. And really, that was the person that was going to help me. If I and I found out years later, hey, I was going to help you and you just stopped texting me. Well, I got two ugly texts not to call you no more. No, that wasn't
yeah.
me. I found this out years later. So you have any examples of stuff like that, or they make your
Well,
phone glitch out where you can't do certain stuff? Just I was just wanting you to give an example of your targeting as far as that goes.
yeah, like I'm sure they're doing that now. Like that's actually the first time I've heard about that, is that they, you know, spoofing texts and stuff. Like that's interesting. But they would just shut down my phone. Like
Yeah,
I would try, like I didn't even think I would be able to get on this interview, because they would like, they were shutting down my phone. They weren't letting me open my chats. So I couldn't even, you know, I was worried I wouldn't be able to get the link. But they started that this morning, just as I was kind of getting ready, and I was, you know, having my coffee and everything. I was getting, you know, mentally right. And then they would start doing this with the phone. And I was
yeah,
like, okay.
yeah. My wife's V2K voice, because I hear my wife's voice. She said when I read that thing where you said, well, they mess with my audio and stuff and mess with my phone, and so I can't guarantee I'll be there. You know, I when I read that this morning, I got a her voice said he's not going to be there. He's just bullshitting you, and you're going to get stood up. So I had to differentiate and not believe the lie. You see what I'm saying? Because it's
Yes,
another lie, and
everything is a
that's
lie.
just an example. Yeah,
Everything,
everything's a
you know,
lie.
it's just, you got to remind yourself of that, man. And I know it's so hard. You know, you go through this abuse. You have to remind yourself, all TIs, it is, everything you are going to hear is a lie. They will tell you your worst fears. They'll talk everything. They know that, especially if you're, you know, an R&M victim. They will tell you lies. Please remember that. Like you guys out there, and David, and I have to remind myself of it. Remember it. It's a lie.
Yeah. What do you last question. What do you think this program will ever end? Well, I got two more questions. The first one, do you think this program will ever end? Me personally, I think the best thing to do is figure out how to uh, shield shield yourself from weapons. Figure out how to, which there's not much shooting filter. Figure out how to cope, because what if it don't end? You know what I'm saying? Some people have hope and they're just sitting back waiting for certain people to save them, these lawsuits and stuff to save them, and they're just sitting back waiting and getting tortured. Well, why not just start shielding and stuff right now? Like I got Mylar right up there, you know, and probably don't help at all, but you know, it's just hope. And then I got these things; these really help. They're copper cones, and they were on David Rubble's channel. These things like they're copper cones, and
Okay.
I will put it on. I will, you know, I will just put it around here. They absorb um, radio waves, electromagnetic waves, stuff like that. They absorb frequencies and stuff. It's all made of
I think,
copper tape,
yeah.
copper plating. So what I was going to ask you is, do you think the program ever ends? And if you well, just answer that first. Do you think this program ever ends? Where do you see this program going?
Uh, you know, like I don't want people, like, you have to be hopeful. You know, don't give up hope. You know, they say the targeting, it's a life sentence, basically. You're in it till the end. You know what I mean? But, and that's why Jesus is important. But like, don't give up hope. Anything could happen. You know what I mean? Like with MK Ultra, those poor victims, that mind control program, that program was exposed and it was terminated. You know, well, ostensibly, because we're going through this now,
Yeah, and there
right?
was even
But
lawsuits in Canada on it, wasn't there?
there was, yeah, and a woman, she was awarded for her torture. Like, but you keep, you know, keep hope. You know, and that's all we can do is just have hope. You know, I don't want to say, but I only see it getting worse. but it's like as in more people being targeted,
Yeah,
but
because I'm old. Well, I'm not an old school TI. There's people been TI a lot longer than me. I'm just saying I just came on the scene in 2018. As far as meeting other TIs and stuff, and a lot of the TIs I met back in 2018 have been targeted for years, but the TIs I'm meeting now, 2020, 2018, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
so a lot more people are getting targeted, seems like.
Oh yeah, no, and I think they're ramping it up. I think they're ramping it up, and I think I listened to an interview. It was a podcast, and I want to say it was John Hall, but Dr. John Hall, but he said that as many as 1 in 1,000 people now are targeted individuals, and most of them don't even know it.
Right. You know, uh, what advice would you give to TIs going through this? That's going to be the last question. What advice would you give to other TIs going through this and dealing with this? Especially the new ones who are just now found out or just now know what's going on.
You get right with God. You know what I mean? Like God is put him number one, and stay cemented on that. You know what I mean? Because they'll attack your religion. That's the main thing they want to do, is they want to dismantle your religion, right? That's what the devil does. But you have to, pray, and just
Yeah, see, I've met many TIs who gave up on God, and I really think that's one of the agendas too. Like you said, you make them give up hope on God or any kind of higher power. Make them, separate them from God. Because I think a
yeah,
lot of us TIs, well, most of us TIs, have a spirit of love in us, and they don't like that.
no, yeah,
They
like we
fear
were
love.
selected. Yes, absolutely, David. And you know what, man? Like you like, kudos to what you do. Like you have you have a pretty good following, and like
And you don't need to give up either, because I started out with a following like you. You're just now starting out. Don't give up.
yeah.
And you
Thank you
have to
so much.
post your videos in Discord and places like that, because the algorithm will not let you advance if you don't. That's the only reason I got where I was at, was posting it in like 50 different TI groups, Telegram, stuff like that. And I didn't give up. You know what I'm saying? I was getting 6, 7 views one time. I'm like, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna get the word out there.
And you
And
know what? And you
eventually
said,
it
yeah,
starts
and you said
growing.
it, yeah, and you said in one of your videos, and it really hit me, because you said in one of your videos, like everything has been taken from us as TIs, but if you can just prevent that one suicide, you know what I mean? If you can just
Yeah.
reach that one person, and
Yes.
it's worth it, and that's the other advice I would give, is find your purpose. You know what I mean? And try and make that your, help other TIs, help everybody.
That's
But
how I stay sane through this targeting. I'm
yes,
tortured heavily, but you know what? I apply that 12 step principle, not to drug addicts or nothing, because I'm not one, but I apply it to, the 12 step. What is that? Oh man, they took it out of my head. When you help others, you stay sober. Well, when you help others, you stay sane. That's how
yes,
I look at it. And that's why my mission is to help TIs, help expose light. I'm hoping I'm hoping to interview a veteran tomorrow. His name is John Ketchum. I'm hoping he's got pictures of burns. He's done gave me to upload stuff. They got him in a nursing home. He's paralyzed from the waist down, but he's kind of he's not too old. You know what I'm saying? He's a
yeah,
veteran. He shouldn't be in a nursing home sitting in his own poop, getting
no,
burnt by weapons.
no,
So
yeah,
I'm
no,
going to interview him tomorrow and hope to get the word out for him, and maybe somebody can reach out and help him in this situation. So, yeah.
yeah, no, that's disgusting. Yeah, these guys have to be stopped. Like
But
it's all.
helping somebody gets me through the day, knowing, hey, I might have just saved that dude from killing himself. I might have just helped this TI from going out there and doing something stupid or hurting somebody else and getting shot. You know,
Yes,
it makes my day being able to help somebody. And that's my
yes, and
whole reason for this interviews, the channel. Well, the channel, I'm trying to reach non-TIs as well as TIs. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Like that lady that said in the channel, well, I see what's going on here, and I can tell by them interviews y'all ain't lying, so I believe y'all now. I mean, I just reached somebody. I done something, because maybe
yeah,
she was a skeptic, but now she believes. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Uh,
So,
so don't give up
and
on your channel. I'm going to put the link I'm gonna go get your channel link and put it in the description when I upload the video. That way, anybody that wants to check out his channel, he's been building evidence, and you know, if y'all would just try to support him, you know, and any TI who has a YouTube channel, try to support them and hit the like and share button, because the more likes is the more it gets seen. That's the algorithm too. The more people hit the like button is the more the videos get seen. I mean, I notice I get 600 views and sometimes I only get 60 likes. So thank y'all to the ones that like. And if y'all don't hit the like button or can't hit the like button because you're not on YouTube signed up, I understand. But man, try to hit the like button for me so we can get this more seen and more exposed. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's help each other out. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I thank you, Edmonton, for coming out. If you want to stay on and catch up, we can stay on. I'm going to stop recording, and then we can say our goodbyes after I stop recording.
Okay. Thanks a lot, David. God
No
bless you.
problem. And you, hold on.